Hey everyone, welcome back to Firsthand Globetrotting. Las Vegas is a wild city. It's got bright lights, world-class entertainment, gambling everywhere you look, and a massive party atmosphere. And most of that's centered on the Las Vegas Strip. So if you're planning a trip to Vegas and want to be in the heart of the action, you'll need to stay on the Strip. But it's actually pretty tough to figure out where to stay. The hotels along the Vegas Strip aren't just regular hotels. They're massive hotel, resort, casinos that take up entire city blocks. Just look at the list of the biggest hotels in the world, and a lot of them are in Vegas. So today, I'll show you around the New York Hotel and Casino so you can see what it has to offer. I stayed there for a few days on my most recent visit to Vegas, so I had a chance to see and try all the things the hotel had to offer. Let's start with the location. It's towards the southern end of the Strip, right across the road from the MGM Grand. The Excalibur is next to it on one side, and the Park MGM on the other side. I find the busiest, most jam-packed, and most exciting part of the Strip is between New York at the southern end and Treasure Island at the northern end. There are a few other resorts outside of that area, but they're more spread out and not as close to everything else. So it's great that New York is in the best part of the Strip, but because it's near the southern end, you may not be as central as you want. Depending on where you want to go, you may be a few miles away from the other parts of the Strip. But it's really easy to walk, take a taxi, or take a bus to get around. And one bonus of being at the southern end of the Strip is that it's closer to the airport than most of the other hotels. Okay, so let's get to the hotel itself. Vegas resorts are known for their over-the-top themes, and New York is no different. They try to replicate the most iconic symbols of New York City in the hotel, and you'll see it in almost everything I talk about. To start, the main buildings of the hotel are designed to look like the skyscrapers of the New York City skyline. They also have a replica of the Statue of Liberty, so you can see Lady Liberty looking over Vegas. And the Brooklyn Bridge is right out front, with even more fake New York-style buildings making up the outside walls of the casino. Of course, like everything else in Vegas, once it gets dark, the entire hotel gets lit up with thousands and thousands of flashing lights. So as you're walking down the Strip at night, it's hard to miss New York City lit up in front of you. Heading inside, the reception area is pretty much attached to the casino floor, so you won't have to wait long to start gambling. It's actually a pretty small check-in area compared to other Vegas resorts and not quite as grand or fancy. After checking in, the next stop is up to the rooms. Like everywhere in Vegas, they have basic rooms all the way up to penthouse suites. But since most of us are going to stay at the basic entry-level rooms, that's what I'll focus on. Those rooms are fine and clean, but their look is a little bit dated. A lot of places in Vegas go for a more chic and modern look to their rooms, but New York rooms look more like a generic 3-star hotel. After you finish up in your room, your next stop will probably be down in the casino to see what's happening there. A lot of Vegas casinos feel like mazes that go on forever, but New York was actually a little bit smaller and easier to navigate. The shape of it kind of reminded me of a flower, with smaller gaming areas forming the leaves and little walking paths separating them. Right in the center of the flower is Center Bar, so if you can find your way there, it's pretty easy to get to the other parts of the casino. Like any casino, there are flashing lights and the sounds of slot machines everywhere you go. And because it's Vegas, there will be people gambling 24 hours a day. Some of these clips are from the morning, some are from the afternoon, some are from the evening, and some are from in the middle of the night. It's almost impossible to tell which is which because New York was busy around the clock. One thing that I found was that the entire casino floor seemed really tightly packed. No matter where I went, it felt like there was always a slot machine or two within arm's reach. They definitely made the most of every square foot of space. There didn't seem to be nearly as many table games as in other casinos. I definitely saw some blackjack and craps and roulette tables around, but there didn't seem to be too many of them. Maybe it was just that they were hidden behind all of the slot machines surrounding them. And I found that a lot of the tables weren't open. So if you're big on table games, New York may not be for you. But if you've never played them before, the casino does offer free daily courses to teach you the rules. And for the more experienced gamblers, there's a separate high rollers area that has slot machines and tables where you can do some bigger money betting. The one other gambling area they have is the sports book. It's not very big, but you can bet on a bunch of different pro sports and horse races. They have a few big boards showing you what the odds are, and then some TVs showing the races and games so you can see how your bet's doing. If you get hungry or thirsty, pretty much the entire casino floor is surrounded by bars and restaurants. They make sure that you have everything you need close by, so you don't need to stop gambling for long. And if you end up doing well, there are a few stores where you can spend your winnings. But if you're hungry and want to see even more of the New York City theme, then you could head over to the Village Street Eateries. Just walk towards the area that looks like a big Times Square billboard and you'll be there. It's made to look like a bunch of New York City streets with fake buildings. There are a lot of little details they add that are actually kind of neat. They make it look like there are upper floor apartments with balconies and fire escapes. The intersections have street signs telling you the road names. The floors are made to look like brick roads that have manhole covers along them, and they even have some fake businesses mixed in with the real ones. The whole area is basically a giant food court, so if you're hungry, there are some quick and cheap options there. Another place to get some quick food is in the upper mezzanine level. It's above the main casino floor, connected by an escalator. They have a few bars up there, some fast food places, and even a magic store. But one of the main reasons to go up there is to get to the walkways that connect to the MGM Grand and the Excalibur. They're above the road, so you don't need to worry about crossing the super busy streets with all the traffic. On the other side of the casino, there's another upper level area. But this one isn't for eating or drinking or shopping. It's the Big Apple Arcade, and it's more about having fun. Just like the casino, there are plenty of lights and sounds and excitement up there. But instead of winning money, you win tickets that you can trade in for prizes when you're done. It's got everything you'd want from an arcade. Video games, skee-ball, ring toss, sports games, and a bunch more. There's even a giant claw machine if you want to try your luck at winning a big prize. This area is definitely a nice feature if you're traveling with people who are too young for the other casino stuff. And also, up by the arcade is the entrance to one of New York's best known attractions, the Big Apple roller coaster. The cars are painted to look like New York City taxi cabs, and the coaster tracks go around the outside of the hotel. When you're looking at the New York City skyline, it's hard to miss the tracks twisting and turning. And every few minutes you'll see the cars whizzing by and the screams of the riders as they zoom around the resort. When you're riding it, you get a great view of the strip, and you can even go up at night to see everything lit up. If you want to get outdoors and enjoy the Vegas sunshine, New York has a pool area. It's a good-sized pool, but not as massive as some of the ones at other resorts. There's a bar, some lounge chairs, cabanas, and always music playing in the background. As you're lounging by the pool, you can look up and see the skyscrapers towering over top of you. And another cool thing is that the first drop of the roller coaster is right by the pool. You can watch the cars being slowly pulled up to the top, and then the screams of the riders as they start speeding down the track and out towards the strip. New York also has an on-site theater if you want to see a Vegas show. Since the early 2000s, they've hosted Cirque du Soleil Zumanity. It's an adult-only cabaret show and is usually one of the less expensive Cirque shows in Vegas. They usually have at least one performance a day, so it's really convenient if you want to see one of the world-famous Cirque du Soleil shows in person. One of the things I really liked about New York actually has nothing to do with the hotel. Between it and the Park MGM is the Park Vegas, an outdoor area with bars and restaurants. It has plenty of outdoor seating, a rainbow-colored fountain, and a huge ballerina sculpture called Bliss. On my other trips to Vegas, I found it was really hard to find public outdoor areas if you want to relax and get some fresh air. So it was really nice to have the park right outside the hotel. And right behind the park is T-Mobile Arena, where the Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey team plays. They had a lot of Golden Knights branding at the casino, and there was even a mini parade before one of their games. I really wasn't expecting that in the middle of a Vegas casino. But it was a really great idea to get all the tourists excited for the game and to add even more sounds and excitement to the casino floor. So if you're a hockey fan, this ends up being a really good hotel to stay at. New York also has a few other typical hotel features like concierge service, meeting rooms, and a small business center. They also have an on-site car rental desk available in case you need to drive anywhere. So that's New York Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. It's a big property with a lot going on, so hopefully this video gave you a good idea of what to expect when you go there. If you really wanted to, you could spend your entire trip at the resort and never have to leave the building. But, of course, then you'd miss out on all the other amazing things going on in Vegas. To summarize, I'll start with the things that I really liked about New York. First, I definitely liked the theme and design. It was exactly the type of over-the-top resort decoration that I expected out of the Las Vegas Strip. Pretty much everywhere you looked, there was some reference to New York City. Second, I really liked the outdoor space next door. Everything is so tightly packed in Vegas, it can sometimes be hard to find a place to sit and relax outside. Third, having the arcade and roller coaster were pretty nice options. If you go as a family or you're just a big kid at heart, having some fun stuff like that is great. And last, when I went, the room prices were really affordable, especially compared to the higher end properties on the Strip. It's right in the busy and exciting part of the Strip and was still a pretty good value. But there were also a few things that I didn't like as much. I found the hotel hallways and rooms were a little dated. Everything was clean, but it wasn't as nice and modern as I had hoped. Also, like every hotel on the Strip, they charge a resort fee every night in addition to what you pay for your room. It's a mandatory fee that doesn't really give you anything outside of what you'd already expect from a hotel, so it's basically just a cash grab. But every resort on the Strip has these fees, so there's no avoiding them. And last, I like that New York is in the busy part of the Strip, but it's at the southern end. It's not going to be as convenient or central as some of the other resorts, so it may take you a little longer to get places. Overall though, I had a great time at New York. I had a really fun trip. There was so much to see and do at the hotel, and it was a nice home base to explore the rest of Vegas. I have no regrets about booking this resort, and I'd have no problem staying there again. So now that you've seen everything that New York has to offer, hopefully you'll be able to figure out if it's the right Vegas hotel for you. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. And while you're at it, like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. On Instagram, I'm Firsthand Globetrotting. On Twitter, I'm Firsthand Globe. Follow me on there. And don't forget, it's an incredible world out there, so pick up your passport and do some firsthand globetrotting of your own.